Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen. We got some training camp news to talk about, a ton of stuff to go over, some injury updates, discussion about a fight that happened in today's practice. It was an electric one. It's going to be an electric episode. So happy that you guys are all joining me on this fine Monday afternoon. Before we get into any of the content, any of the takeaways from today's training camp practice, make sure you guys like that video because I'm trying to improve every single month, and I need y'all's help to do so because when you look at likes for all of June to where we are right now with July, June is 7,000 likes better. We need to bridge that gap a little bit more. I need at least 400 on today's show. Let's pass that number. Let's improve from June to July. It is in your hands. So if you have not yet, go ahead. Hit that free thumbs up button. All right, some major news today from camp, starting off with some notables not being in attendance. And when this originally got reported, it was earlier in the day, kind of 5 minutes after they went out to the practice field, and people were a little worried, especially when you see a tweet that says Rashod, Bateman, and Jaire Alexander are among the Ravens not practicing today. The good news is John Harbaugh in his post-practice press conference kind of put those worries to bed. Harbaugh said that Jaire Alexander had a little swelling, but he's optimistic that he'll return to practice tomorrow. All he had to do was get that knee drained a little bit, sit out today, and hopefully he's out there at training camp 24 hours from now. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This does make me a little bit nervous. And I think it should make you at least a little bit nervous as well, just given Jaire Alexander's history. Missed 20 games over the last 2 seasons. He's one of those guys that doesn't find himself on the field often is battling with injuries, and I hate to see something like this happening so quickly into his tenure as a Raven. Now, I am happy that it's nothing serious, right? I am happy that the head honcho is sitting there right now and saying, you know what, he should be back tomorrow. That's good news. But still, I think we all would rather nothing happen at all. Additionally, at the end of practice, another big injury to a cornerback position. Jalen Armour-Davis left Ravens practice early. It's a big summer for Armour-Davis, who showed promise but hasn't been able to stay on the field. So a couple of updates in a row with that same position in the cornerback room, and unfortunately, not great news for Jalen Armour-Davis there either. He's a guy who we've seen have an uptick in the snap count. You know, he was out there and practicing with the safeties a little bit, showing off that versatility after the Ardarius Washington injury. And fortunately, things are kind of not on the downcline for a guy like Jalen Armour-Davis, but anytime you deal an injury like that, it should be taken a little bit seriously. The good news is these all were put to bed by John Harbaugh, in a sense. Rashod Bateman was sent home unhappily because of an illness. Bilal Kone, who we didn't even mention in practice today, was dealing with shoulder injury, believed to be minor. And Jalen Armour-Davis will have an MRI, but the undisclosed injury isn't believed to be that serious. This is phenomenal news. Every single one of those guys, 3 of them being in the cornerback room and another one of them being, Rashod Bateman, your wide receiver too. The fact that all of those guys' injuries seem to be something that isn't to be worried about too much, I think you should be taking that with a smile today on Monday. Tune in or get out, okay? If you want injury and training camp news every single day, you have found the place to get it. Subscribe now. We get you this as quickly as we can. We cover this team year-long, daily. You're going to find me every single day right here on the channel. So if you haven't joined us yet, it's free to do so, and all you got to do is hit that big red sub button. The topic I'm most excited to talk about today, pads on, punches thrown. As we know, today was the first day of the pads. Things tend to get a little bit more physical, and because of that, the intensity is up. Bo Smoka reporting that rookie tackle Carson Vincent and outside linebacker Dafe Owe got into a little scrape at the end of the play. Vincent's helmet came off, and Owe was pulled away toward the defensive sideline by teammates and coaches. Don't let anybody tell you that this isn't great. For everybody on Twitter that's saying, that's so ridiculous. They're already fighting. They're children. They can't control themselves. Don't listen to that. I would be more worried if there weren't scuffles in training camp. If a team goes through the entirety of training camp in the preseason without a fight within their own team, I would sell every amount of stock I had in that team. It would be gone. These guys are aggressive. They're the best in their craft. They're competitive. Of course they're going to get into a little fight every now and then. This is a physical game. It's a physical sport. Things like that happen. And a lot of times it just shows that these teams got an edge, okay? I love Odafe always showing that edge. And on the other side, I love a guy who's a rookie, Carson Vincent, showing that edge as well. It'd be very easy for a rookie to, not lay down, but say, you're the vet. I don't want to go up against you. You're freaking jacked. But no, he's not. Shoving him back a little bit. Absolutely love it. I think that's phenomenal news, if you're asking me. Jake Hummel is back from injury. He was on the non-football injury list over the last week or so. Hadn't been at training camp yet. Made his return today because of a hand injury. Made his debut. Missed all of last week with that hand injury, as Jonas Schaefer reports. And Jake Hummel's going to have an interesting next month or so because he joined a team who had a need at linebacker, right? Trent Simpson got benched at the end of last season. Roquan Smith, one of the best off-ball linebackers in the game. Then they draft Teddy Buchanan. But, let's be real. If Jake Hummel wants a spot on this roster, he has to be here. He needs to be playing, needs to be practicing, needs those reps because, sure, he's been in the league for a good bit. But outside of special teams, he really hasn't done much. 3 career years, 31 tackles, not a single tackle for loss, not a single sack. He's, I don't want to say struggled to put up numbers in his career, but he's basically just been relegated to be a special teams guy. And he's battling for that 4th spot with a couple of UDFAs. And if he's going to make that roster, when roster cutdown day happens in about a month, these training camp practices are what he needs. Now he's back. Now he's getting them. Speaking of getting things, you need to get this, okay? It's $27. That's all I got to say. $27 for this Baltimore Ravens hoodie. All you need to do is go to chatsports.com/purple hoodie. Take advantage of that offer as quickly as you can because it will not last long. Because guess what? If you don't get to it, somebody else will. And that means they're not going to have any left in stock. That means deal over. Back to paying $70 for a hoodie next time they make more. $27. That's all it will cost you. Chatsports.com/purple hoodie. That link is in the comments and description of today's video. Take advantage of our friends over at Fanatics for giving you this awesome deal. Help us out here on the channel at the Ravens Rundown. Chatsports.com/purple hoodie. Tyler Loop struggled today. That's my 4th takeaway from training camp practice. Jamison Hensley tweeted out, Ravens kicker Tyler Loop's perfect training camp has ended. Rookie 6th-round pick went 4 for 7 on Monday. Hit the left upright, a 43-yarder, missed left from 38 and 45. Now this is notable because last week Tyler Loop was a perfect 23 for 23. He even hit one in warm-ups from 68 yards. And then today happened, and he wasn't perfect. Missed 3 kicks, like we just talked about. And it seems a little bit like John Hoyland, I don't want to say is closing the gap, but he's definitely not making it as easy on Tyler Loop as I think we all would have assumed he was going to be. Anytime you take a guy competing with a guy who was drafted when you were undrafted, you kind of lean more towards the guy who was drafted, just without even really thinking about it, because you automatically associate that guy with a little bit more value. Well, John Hoyland can keep kicking well. Tyler Loop continues to struggle. I don't think John Harbaugh would hesitate one bit to make John Hoyland the starter over Tyler Loop. Who do you think starts out of the 2 of those guys? Is it Loop? Is it Hoyland? You let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below by typing their initials. Last but not least on today's takeaways, penalties are still a problem, unfortunately. And I'm not just talking about still a problem because they've kind of been a problem all training camp, but they were a problem even going to last year. Ravens practice just wrapped. Another nice day for the defense. Ravens offense especially struggled in the end zone where penalties, post-snap this time, were a problem. This shouldn't be anything new. This is something that we got accustomed to seeing all last season. And it was so frustrating. 140 penalties against. Dead last in the National Football League. 1,177 penalty yards against. Dead last. That's 11 football fields. And then 77 more yards on top of that. And then total flags. Guess what? They weren't last. Second to last. 161. This team beats itself. That has to change in 2025. Bill Belichick said it best on the Manning Cast last season. He said the only team he can see beating the Ravens are the Ravens. And guess who did that in the playoffs? They beat themselves. Not necessarily with penalties, although there was some bad ones at some inopportune times, mainly with turnovers, but still, penalties were a problem for the entirety of last season. That has to change in 2025. What else has to change is you not following me on social media. Good news is I got my links right here for you. You can find me at Joey Petersen on Twitter, at Joey Petersen8 on Instagram. Make sure you get the last name spelled right on both those platforms. More than anything, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We cover you daily for the Baltimore Ravens right here on the Ravens Rundown. So if you have not yet, join us today by subscribing.